My name is Frank. I'm a bulldog, and if you've ever seen one, you know that we look like nature decided to crumple us into a ball and forgot to uncrumple us. But don't let my appearance fool you. Inside, I'm a true romantic with the soul of a poet, even if I look like a mix of a tank and an airbag. Today I want to tell you about my best friend, whom I met every day in the shelter where I spent most of my life. The shelter is a special place. On one hand, it's our home. On the other, a transit point between the past and the future, where every day feels the same, like the news on TV. In the cages around me, there were all kinds of dogs, big and small, fluffy and not so much, with different characters and fates. Each one had their own story, their lost dream, and hope for a better future. I remember the day I first arrived here. Small, frightened, I didn't understand what was happening. People were saying things I didn't quite understand, and all I could do was look with my big, sad eyes. "Another abandoned one," I heard one of the shelter workers say. "Thanks for the support," I thought sarcastically. They put me in a cage where there were already several dogs. They looked at me with interest, but no one came any closer. That's when I met Max. He was a German shepherd, tall and slim, with intelligent eyes and ears constantly in disarray, giving him the look of a philosopher contemplating the meaning of life. He came up to me and quietly asked, "Are you new here?" I nodded. "Don't worry, it's not as bad as it seems. The key is not to lose your sense of humor." I smirked. "Well, with my face, that'll be easy." Since then, we became inseparable. Every day began with us exchanging news and jokes. "Heard they're serving the same food again for dinner?" Max would say, winking. "Great, my diet will continue forever. A little more and I'll be as slim as you," I'd reply. We laughed, although inside each of us dreamed of something more. In the shelter yard, we spent our time watching the world through the high fences. "I wonder what's happening out there," Max would ask. "Probably people running errands, complaining about the weather, and prices in stores, I'd guess. Good thing we don't have those problems. We don't need to pay taxes or sit in traffic. Yeah, our problems are more serious. How to get that elusive piece of food from the bowl," Max would summarize, and we'd laugh again. Sometimes we played who can catch their tail first. I wasn't very good at it, but Max was a master. "You're just jealous of my flexibility," he'd joke. "Of course, with my short legs, I can only dream of pulling off tricks like that," I'd respond. There were also sad moments. At night, when everything grew quiet, we'd talk about the past. I remember living with a family in a big house. I had my own doghouse and a bowl with my name on it, Max would reminisce. And I had a soft bed and a little boy who always played with me, I'd share. "Do you think they remember us?" he asked. "I hope so," I answered, though I felt a bitterness inside. One day, people arrived at the shelter with cameras. They filmed us and asked about our stories. "Maybe this is our chance to become famous," joked Max. "Yeah, they'll show us on TV and we'll become stars of the reality show Dogs in the Big City," I supported him. But as usual, it ended with a brief segment about homeless animals, and our fame ended before it even began. Sometimes we watched as other dogs were taken by new owners. "Look, Rex is gone today," Max would notice. "Yeah, he was always an optimist. I hope he gets lucky." "When will it be our turn?" he'd sigh. "Maybe tomorrow," I'd answer, though I didn't really believe it. One day, a family came to the shelter with a little girl. She immediately took notice of Max. "Mom, look how beautiful he is," she exclaimed. I felt my heart tighten. "Looks like your time has come," I said, trying to smile. "But I don't want to leave without you," Max replied. "Don't worry, I'll be fine. The most important thing is that you're happy." They took him, and I was left alone. Since then, the days became endless. I no longer heard his laughter, no longer felt his support. Every morning, I'd go to his empty cage and hope that it had all been a dream. "Hey, Frank, want to play?" Other dogs would try to distract me. "Sorry, guys, not today," I'd respond. I began noticing how the world around me lost its colors. Food didn't bring me joy. Games felt pointless. "You need to move on," Betty, an old Labrador who was wiser than all of us, told me. "How?" when part of me is gone?" I asked. "Time heals," she answered. "Time? I have plenty of it, but what if it only makes the pain worse?" I thought. In the evenings, I'd sit by the window and look at the stars. "Where are you now, Max? Are you happy?" I imagined him running across green fields, playing with children, enjoying life. And here I am, in this cage, waiting for something that may never happen. One day a new inhabitant arrived at the shelter, a cat named Simba. He was orange and cocky, as if the whole world belonged to him. "Hello, doggy," he addressed me. "Don't call me that," I snapped. "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to offend. Just noticed you're too sad." "What's it to you?" "I just can't watch your sour face. Life is beautiful, you should learn to enjoy the moment." "Easy for you to say, you're a cat, and you can go wherever you want." "Well, maybe, but you can change your life too." "How?" "Start with a smile. I thought about his words. Maybe he's right. Maybe I've been too focused on my grief. The next day, I decided to try being more positive. I approached the puppies and offered to play. "Hooray! Frank is with us!" they cheered. We ran, played hide and seek, and I felt warmth returning to my heart. But still, deep inside, I continued waiting for Max. Every night I dreamed of how we'd be together again, telling each other about our experiences. Maybe one day it will happen, I told myself. And then, one day, fate gave me a gift. We were walking in the park when I heard a familiar bark. My heart raced. I turned and saw him. Max. He was running toward me with a joyful yelp. "Frank, I can't believe my eyes." We collided and began spinning around like puppies. "I'm so glad to see you," he exclaimed. "Me too. How's your life?" "Great. And yours?" "It's getting better," I smiled. Our owners approached each other. "Looks like our dogs are old friends," Michael, my owner, noticed. "Yes, it seems they're from the same shelter," replied Tom, Max's owner. "Maybe we should sit together." "I'd love to." Max and I told each other about our adventures. "My owner taught me to bring the newspaper," he boasted. "And I learned to open the door with my paw," I countered. "Wow, you're becoming a genius." "Well, I try to keep up." In the evening on the way home, I felt the emptiness inside me fill up. "Thank you, Michael," I thought. "You've given me hope and faith that anything is possible." Since then, we met often with Max and Tom. We had picnics, played in the park, and shared joys and concerns. Life became bright and full again. But I'll never forget those days in the shelter. Sometimes Michael and I visited it to help other dogs. "Maybe we can give them hope," he said. I'd approach the cages and look into the eyes of those still waiting for their chance. Hang in there, friends. Miracles happen. One day we met the cat Simba. "So, how's life, doggy?" he asked with a smile. "Great, thanks for the advice," I answered. "Glad to hear it. See, all you need is to want it." "You were right." "Of course, I'm always right. I'm a cat. Life goes on. I feel happy and grateful. I have a loving owner, a best friend, and faith in the future." My friend left, but I waited for him every day, and now we're together again, I think. Life is full of trials, but if you believe and don't give up, anything is possible. If you ever see a sad dog in a shelter, remember that they too have dreams and hopes. Maybe you'll be the one to change their life, just like Michael changed mine. And maybe, one day, while walking in the park, you'll see a bulldog with a smile on his face and a sparkle in his eyes. It'll be me, Frank, who found his happiness and faith in miracles. Come over, say hi, and maybe we'll become friends.